Hey, wrestling fans, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with all the tools you need in one place. Totally free. Just go to anchor.fm on your computer and start creating that podcast you've been meaning to start. Take advantage of Anchor's creation tools, where you can record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you on many different listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast, to name a few. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And the best part about it, Anchor is absolutely totally free. Download the Anchor app on your phone or go to anchor.fm to get started right away. Have fun!
Hey, you found our YouTube channel all queued up. I'm Greg Dietz, and with me always is Maya Don Fisher. Hey, Maya, can you tell the fine folks what we do here?
Sure, Greg. What we do here is we review movies and TV shows that are exclusive to streaming services, such as Disney Plus, HBO Max, Netflix, Amazon's Prime Video, Hulu, and others. Then, Greg and I have a discussion and break down what we liked or didn't like about the show or movie we watched, and we let you, the listener, know if it's worth investing your time in.
You can listen to our fine podcast on any streaming service of your choice. You can listen to our podcast and other fine podcasts on the Nerdvana Network. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everybody.
Woo! We needed that break. We have a new AEW World Champion. Well, we had a new AEW World Champion for maybe about 5 days. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not calling the new guy the interim anything. Bad Dad Jokes are back on SmackDown. But he got rebranded, so maybe it'll turn into Badass Dad Jokes. SmackDown attempted to try another women's six-pack challenge with a different tag team. This one went totally different. We have a show, and we're going to get through everything that happened this whole week on the wrap-up. Welcome back, Wrestling Junkies, and if you're new to the broadcast, welcome to this lovely community. It's still real to us, damn it. This is a wrap-up, the show where we watch 12 plus hours of wrestling and tell you what happened and give you our take. You are listening to episode number 41, and we're coming to you from Under the Apron. I'm your host, I'm Ernie, and before we continue, I would like to say thank you to everyone that has listened to the show. We made it to a milestone, guys. We have made it to the 1,000 downloads. Thanks for everyone that has ever listened to the show or has ever paid interest in listening to me ramble from the very first few episodes to actually making a better quality sound by the time y'all got into it. I would also like to say thank you to those that have guest starred on the episode as well. Thank you to Michael, who could not be here, of course, but he will be in the next episode. Thank you to Kushina. Thank you to Nick. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for being a part of the show. And thank you, Nick, for letting me be a part of the TNN family. And, of course, a big thank you to our sponsor for sponsoring us. Guys, if you haven't yet, download or tell a friend to download Anchor at anchor.fm. It's totally free. You can either listen to awesome podcasts such as us, if you're new here, or you can browse around and listen to others as well. If you're like me and want to create a podcast because you have a different topic or opinions than others on your topic, create one right now using the app and work on that podcast. Be a CM Punk and be the voice for the voiceless. Download the app now. Okay, we got to talk about the chaos that was MJF last weekend that spilled over to Wednesday, as well as CM Punk getting injured and requiring surgery, and then this whole tournament to announce a new AEW World Champion. Because I'm not calling an interim. I didn't call Razor Ramon an interim Intercontinental Champion. Interim is something for someone important, like a job, like an interim commissioner that would do the job when the old commissioner is not there at the moment, because he got Vader bombed. Remember that? Once that old commissioner comes back, in this case, Gorilla Monsoon, Roddy Piper will go back to being Roddy. This does not apply for champions. It's like telling the second place holder that he's not the champion, but an interim champion. So hold that trophy for now, big guy, until our top guy comes back and we can get back to business. Yeah, see, like I'm not doing second place. I'm getting ahead of myself. First, let's talk about last weekend. AEW FanFest. It was announced that MJF no-showed a meet and greet. Fans were either given their money back or were asked if they wanted to do a meet and greet with another wrestler. Kashina and I talked about this last weekend on here, so if you can, go back and listen to the awesome episode from last week's wrap-up. That was at the start of the show. Once we got to late night and about to end the show, we found more information. MJF buys himself a plane ticket out of Las Vegas. He's supposed to have a match against Wardlow, and now everyone is insinuating things. You know how the IWC is. If these people were alive back in the 90s, we would have had 1,000 1-900 numbers with different information, but none of it is true. Sundays are quiet on the MJF front. People have speculated that he went home until we get to Double or Nothing, and the first match of the night being MJF and Wardlow. He does the thing, he loses, he goes home, and nothing is said until the next few days when there is talk about a sit-down, face-to-face between MJF and his boss, Tony Khan. Again, don't hear anything of it until we get to Wednesday, when MJF comes out. And what did these people say last few weeks about Sasha and Naomi? Oh yeah, he unprofessionally let the fans down by doing a shoot promo. Regardless if it was a shoot or promo or not, it was one of the best promos of the year so far, and it's right up there with Punk's pipe bomb and Bret Hart's shove to Vince McMahon in 97. Yeah, that right there, that's when it started, the whole Attitude Era. That's when it happened. Y'all can fight me if you want, I don't care. Obviously, I have the whole promo here, so here we're going to play it.
I am in a lot of pain right now after what happened on Sunday. But all you people want to do is hear me talk, right? That's what you want, right? You want to hear me talk? I'll talk, but this is Max Friedman talking. Big merger, boss. A lot of important executives here tonight to watch your product. Would be a real shame if something bad happened. I wouldn't want to embarrass you, man. Speaking of embarrassing, you've been trying to sit down with me to hash things out for quite some time now, haven't you? Well, guess what? Too little, too late. Here's why. When this company first started, it was all friends wrestling. Everybody was handed a ticket, except for me. See, I had to own. And boy, do I have good penmanship, because I created moment after moment after moment for this company, and I still get no respect. Nobody is on my level. No one. Everything I touch turns to gold. There is nothing I do. Every time I come out here, I am not expected to hit home runs. I am expected to hit grand slams. And I do that shit on a weekly basis. See, all the other boys, they get to settle for being great. I have to be perfect because I'm the 26-year-old who is constantly held under a microscope because I'm the only guy who is capable of carrying this company on my back as I have for months. It's funny I hear boos, but I also hear clapping. That's interesting. Where were you guys this whole weekend when you were calling me an unprofessional piece of shit? I'm just curious. You're not the only problem. No, it's the boys in the back too, because the boys in the back all want my spot. Well, guess what? You want my spot, you can have it, because I don't want to be here anymore. Now let's talk about you fans, huh? You people call yourself fans. You're not fans. You're uneducated marks. You sit there on your phones, tweeting out your opinions like they're worth a damn. Let me explain something to you people. You don't know shit. Your opinions suck. Your opinions change at the drop of a dime, and then you pretend your new opinions are the same as your old. For example, man, I always knew MJF was a good wrestler. Really? That's interesting. Because last time I checked, you guys pretended I sucked in the ring for a long time. And why is that, huh? Because I'm not untrained like all your faves? Because I don't pretend to watch New Japan? Because I don't dump my opponents on their head? Because I'm not reckless? What is it? Is it because I'm not chasing star ratings, guys? What is it? How could I possibly be the best? Well, newsflash, I am the best! I'm the best in the world! Because I'm the only guy who makes you feel. And unlike all those boys, I don't gotta do a bunch of bullshit to get you there. I am a generational talent, and you people consistently take me for granted. But it's not just you. It's the big man in the back, too. Here's something you guys can't take for granted. Here's something he doesn't want you to know. Do you guys know who the second biggest minute-for-minute draw is in this entire company? Nope, you wish. It's me! It's me! And if you don't believe me, do me a favor. Ask Stat Boy Tony in the back, see what he's got to say. But whatever you do, don't ask him to reach into his pockets and pay the man who's been busting his ass for him since day one. No. Make sure he hoards all that money. Make sure he hoards all that money so he can give it to all the new ex-WWE guys he keeps bringing in. That can't lace my goddamn boots. Hey, boss, would you treat me better if I was an ex-WWE guy? See, maybe you don't get it, man. Here's the problem with you, boss. You got a position of power in a wrestling company when the only position you should be assuming is behind the guardrail with all of them. I don't want to wait till 2024, but you don't listen to me, so allow me to make it a little bit easier for you. Tony, I want you to fire me. Tony, don't count me down, you piece of shit! Shut your mouth! Look at me, Tony! Tony, look at me. I want you to fire me. You fucking mark! Fire me! Fire me!
What nobody saw, and people probably already saw by the millions of videos being uploaded on YouTube and all social media sites, after the promo, CM Punk walks out to try and talk to MJF, but he bolts out into the crowd and leaves. Here's what I think happened. Tony Khan sends CM Punk out there to de-escalate the situation. Blow the fuse off of this bomb because Punk knows a thing or two, because he's done a thing or two. Now, does Punk want to be out there? Was anybody out there for him when he did his pipe bomb years back? How would have Punk reacted? So I don't think Punk should have been in the one to go out there if it wasn't the work. Somebody posted a video on one of these wrestling groups, and it was from Suplex on TikTok, and he brought up this great point.
It sucks this didn't make it to TV because this is actually perfect. MJF just cut a scathing shoot promo on AEW and Tony Khan. He voiced out his frustrations in a way similar to the man who just came out to interrupt him. The man who interrupted him, CM Punk, was a man who 11 years ago had disgruntled issues with WWE. Now, in storyline, the issues that he had with Vince was that his contract was about to expire, and it seemed like Vince didn't care that much. So he wanted a new contract with absurd things added to it. Both men had contract issues. Both men wanted more than what they felt like they were getting. They felt more deserving of what they had. They felt the need to stand up for themselves in a way that no one else would ever do. It's poetic, but here's why it is so fucking perfect. Because when CM Punk was fighting Injustice, he wasn't the champion. John Cena was the champion. And as he told John Cena, he's just a spoke on a wheel. It's not really John Cena that he hates or despises, he just hates what John Cena represents. And now, 10 years later, we see MJF in the same position that Punk is in, and Punk is in the position that John Cena is in. What the fuck?
Now, after this whole promo and the question of it was a work or a shoot, AEW decided to swerve everyone. They took him off the roster. They took his merchandise off of the AEW shop, and the ultimate sign of disrespect, they unfollowed him on Twitter. Ooh, wow. Now let's talk about CM Punk's injury. Somebody on Instagram pointed out how Punk got injured, and that was when he first came out at the top of the Dynamite show when he went to celebrate with the fans and jumped the guardrail. That's when his leg got hurt. I accidentally hit refresh before I could save the video so I can watch it again. But if he posted that video on Instagram or know someone who did, let me know here so I can give him a credit. Or maybe I'll find it again. Who knows? But, just let me know. I can give him the credit. He was supposed to tag with FTR to face Max Caster and the Ass Boys. He's also calling his team CMFTR. Yeah. Chick Magnets Forever the Revival, probably, perhaps. We'll have to wait and see when he comes back. Then Friday night he came out and relinquished the championship belt, to which AEW posted a statement that he was still keeping it, but an interim champion is to be named at Forbidden Door against the number one contender, which is Jon Moxley. Now, you hear about this. Do you call yourself the real champion if you win? Do you call yourself the interim world champion? From that point on, knowing you're just a placeholder, a transitional champion, so to speak, or do you call yourself the real world champion? Because you can actually be there for the company and defend the championship title like a real champion. What's your take on it? What would you do? Alright, so Raw starts off with the entrance of the HBLK Heartbreak Glass Kicker. Because if we're going by Becky Lynch wearing these iconic outfits, last week was the puffy shirt from Seinfeld. This week is her wearing old gear from HBK's wardrobe from his 90s Attitude Era days. I knew all about that. She gets in the ring and says that Sunday she will once again be the WWE Raw Women's Champion. Asuka music hits and she walks out and gets on the mic, and again we don't understand a word she's saying except for the baby part. Bianca Belair walks out and confronts both Asuka and Becky Lynch. But this was more about a match between Asuka and Belair, with Becky Lynch doing commentary. It was a great match with Belair getting the win, but it was all after the match that Becky decided to get involved. She stated earlier she's a wizard and she's undefeated in triple threat matches, so she's going to come out on top. Hey, wizard. Another match was the Mysterios and Ezekiel defeated Alpha Academy and Kevin Owens. After watching everyone botch the sharpshooter in every AEW over the weekend, Kevin Owens decided he's Canadian. He should give it a try. Not bad, but I'm guessing Bret Hart would have teared him apart for that one. Kevin Owens accidentally super kicks Chad Gable in the face. Ezekiel picks up Chad in the air for a suplex, and it looked like he was trying to come up with a finisher on the spot. Should he do the jackhammer, a brainbuster, or regular suplex? Just spin him around and drop him and win the match. Yeah, that happened. Cody Rhodes segment. He came out to do his usual long-winded speech. Ooh. He gets interrupted by Seth Rollins, who appears on the stands with a mic in his hand. He tells Cody he left 6 years ago and thought he was going to make something out of himself, but he chose to come back because of the title that eluded him. Yeah, we know about this already. It's been established ever since after WrestleMania, about in March. previously on this whole thing. And then he mentions that we all been thinking, and that it's hitting a sledgehammer on the throne, which gets a chuckle out of Cody for that. Cody has had enough to talk and runs after Rollins. They take it to the ring, but the officials come out to stop this fight. It's mostly a "Hey, you still work here" moment when you see Shane Helms, Daivari, Petey Williams, Adam Pearce, some other guy I didn't know, and Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel still works there. Wow. After Alexa Bliss defeated Doudrop, it was a short match. Like, why even bother? Alexa pinned this girl with the Twisted Bliss moonsault. 100 pounds of tiny Alexa Bliss landed on this monster, and she won that with that. I hate this show. Nikki Ash still wearing the superhero outfit, even though she's a heel now. I'm still gonna mention it until they take it off, okay? I know I sound like a broken record with that. But I remember Shane Helms and Molly Holly ditching the outfits when they turned heels. So why, unless you're gonna put her back as a face. Alright, so Miz TV segment, he calls out the Street Profits and it turns into a chaotic mess, which turns into another segment with 24/7 champion Dana Brooke coming out to get away from Tamina. I think Miz left the set. Saw him there, then you didn't see him at all. Everyone's chasing the title, shows up with a Street Profits watch on one of the chairs, eating popcorn, laughing, drinking their whatever's in the red solo cup. Tamina ends up winning the championship, and then Tozawa takes it after that and leaves the ring. Great. Mustafa Ali defeated Ciampa via DQ. Since Mustafa Ali won due to Theory interfering and ruining the match, which meant Ali gets a shot at Theory for the United States Championship. Theory, being such a genius, he tells everyone he's going to have that championship match right now. They ring the bell again, and Theory wins it. He celebrates by taking selfies with Ali. On his way to the back, Adam Pearce comes out and says that Theory should have checked his text messages because by order of Vince McMahon, and the interest of fairness, of course, they will have a rematch at Hell in a Cell. And can't wait for that. Riddle defeated Nakamura, or Riddle and Nakamura defeated the Usos via DQ. It really don't matter who Riddle is teaming up with, he always brings his A game. This felt like Randy Orton was being replaced by Nakamura during his injury. Since Riddle and Nakamura won this match, they will probably have a shot at the tag team titles at Hell in a Cell, or so I thought, until we get to Friday. Here comes my best part, my favorite moment of the entire show. Liv Morgan defeated Rhea Ripley, but not before we got like a whole 20-minute segment from other things happening at the same time. Alright, so here's a breakdown of Raw. Somebody recorded this, or somebody decided to do this into a meme and everything. At 10:14, recapping the Judgment Day feud with AJ, Balor, and Liv. At 10:15, Liv makes her entrance. At 10:16, a Hell in a Cell promo for Raw Women's title match. Okay. 10:17, commercial break. Okay. So we come back from commercial break at 10:20, but instead of, in the ring, there's a promos of Titus at the Indianapolis 500. Titus still works there? Okay. 10:21, recapping the Theory Ali feud earlier tonight at 9:50 p.m. Like, why do we need to see that? It just happened. Like, it's fresh in our heads, right? It surely is. At 10:22, backstage interview where where he is attacked by Theory. So you couldn't do this before Liv came into the ring? 10:23, cut to announce us for reactions to what we just saw. What's going on in the ring? 10:24, complete rundown of the Hell in a Cell card. Like the entire card. Let's just name off what's going to happen. Who's fighting and all that. 10:25, cut back to Liv in the ring with her music playing. She's still in the ring, guys. So we have from 10:15 to 10:25, 10 minutes of her just hanging out in the ring while everything else happening. Okay. 10:26, Rhea's entrance, which is cut off. graphic that says the match is happening next. Don't even show her entire entrance. It's like just her coming out and then up next. So we get that commercial break at 20:27. 10:30. You'd think they'd come back. No. 10:30, Money in the Bank promo about the location moving and tickets on sale because that is so fucking important. The announced that segment about Memorial Day followed by a lengthy video package which took 4 minutes. I understand, Memorial Day. Again, could have been done before Liv got in the ring. 10:34, crowd chanting USA. We love to chant, USA. Again, could have been done before Liv got in the ring. 10:35, a bell finally rings for Liv versus Rhea. 20 minutes after Liv's entrance. This whole thing could have been done before Liv made her entrance. So 10:35 happened. Within 2 minutes, there's a commercial break. What the hell? 10:37, there's a commercial break. 10:40, NXT 2.0 promo. Not even going back to the regular match at all. They didn't even show anything. 10:41, Liv versus Rhea resumes. So, we got to watch probably 2 minutes of them starting to fight. 10:41, Liv and Rhea resumes. 10:44, Liv Morgan wins. 3 minutes and we got to watch 5 minutes of wrestling from these two. They were actually wrestling since 10:35 for like about 10 minutes, but we got to see 3 to 4 minutes of it. They continue. 10:45, post-match shenanigans. 10:47, recap of Seth and Cody earlier on in the night. We don't need to see that again. What the hell? But let's talk about during the match, I guess. Like, you guys already know what happened between those. Here's what happened during those 5 minutes of the match. AJ Styles and Damian Priest came out to check on their partners and be in their corner. Still didn't stop Liv from winning the match. After Priest attacks AJ Styles and Finn Balor joins the party, they attack both Ripley and Priest without Edge, who seems to not have been in the building. After, Liv, Styles, and Balor do the Too Sweet. There you go. That's it. That's what happened. The 2-on-1 handicap match contract signing between MVP, Omos, and Bobby Lashley. That could have been an email. That really could have been an email. They signed the contract. They beat up Bobby Lashley. You know the usual deal. Cedric Alexander joins in like he did something. Alright. Omos sets up the table in the corner, but Lashley spears Omos through the table and the show ends. That's it. Why? Why is this a thing here? I just recapped Raw in 10 minutes. Yeah, this is horrible. I told you this was going to be a short show. Let's move along with NXT. Roderick Strong and Damon Kemp versus Pretty Deadly. Right as the show starts and before the match, Roderick tells Diamond Mine they have the night off. The Creed brothers and Ivy Nile look stunned, wondering, why is he even doing this? Why do you think, Ivy? Why do you think? It looked like Pretty Deadly were playing with their food as they were trying to have fun while Strong and Kemp were more serious wrestlers trying to get the job done. Roderick tags Kemp in and he gets outsmarted by Prince. Roderick tells Kemp he is better than this and slaps him in the face, which fires him up for a series of explosive body-to-body suplexes. Damon Kemp is really not that bad. He just needs to come out on his own and have a series of one-on-one matches. But he does fit with the Diamond Mine mentality and what they're trying to do with the group as soon as Roderick Strong leaves for AEW. Pretty Deadly wins the match due to distraction from the Creed brothers who were trying to save Roderick Strong from being hit with the tag titles. Backstage, Strong tells Creed brothers they better win this match or they are out of Diamond Mine. Backstage, Solo Sikoa wishes Cameron Grimes good luck in his championship match against Carmelo Hayes because he got next. He's been saying that on Twitter, trying to make it a saying. Duke Hudson shows up and he tells both Grimes and Sikoa that he has next for the NXT Championship due to him defeating Braun Breaker in a DQ. Solo Sikoa challenges Duke Hudson for later because he got next. Another sit down between the two most powerful crime families in NXT. This time it's a merger proposition. Tony D'Angelo and his family challenges Legado del Fantasma to a 6-man tag team match in a 8-year house. If Tony wins, Legado joins the Mafia under Tony's direction. But if Legado wins, Tony and his boys join them under Santos Escobar's direction. They shake hands and they are set to face off. After Cora Jade defeated Elektra Lopez, why is Elektra and Legado? Like, what purpose does she have in the group if all she's doing is botch? It doesn't even look like she's done any progress since, I don't know, her debut. I forgot when she debuted. I can't even go back. Yeah, she's on the chopping block. Most definitely, I don't see her coming back at all from the 90-day chopping blocks thing. Hey, too bad. Next match, Wes Lee defeated Zion Quinn. I would call it a fast-paced match because it was too short of a match from the start. Zion threw Wes Lee into the turnbuckle the same way you would throw a dart. Or in wrestling case, the same way Kevin Nash threw Rey Mysterio into the wall 26 years ago. You looked it up, didn't you? Wes was able to outsmart Zion and steal the win. Contract signing for the Women's Championship titles with Wade Barrett being the moderator. Alright. Katana Chance and Toxic Attraction been talking for 8 months. They don't want to hear them anymore. Wendy Chu wants them to sign a contract so they can get through this and she can go to sleep. JC Jane tells Chance and Carter while they were off doing TikTok dances and playing Dance Dance Revolution, Toxic Attraction was on NXT dominating and destroying the competition, which they were. Yes, they were. And she's right. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter are the only tag team I see that is not Toxic Attraction that could do very well on the main roster and have a chance in the tournament for whatever tournament they are doing. Again, Wendy tells them to sign the contract. After Toxic Attraction signs the contract, Wendy throws a spitwad at Mandy Rose and all chaos ensues, which ends with Wendy Chu splashing Mandy from the top rope through a table. That was hardcore. Backstage segment with Kiana James saying that her numbers say that the Creed brothers will lose next week. Your numbers lag, Kiana. Nerd. Ivy Nile pushes her on the locker room door and asks what does the number say about her kicking her ass? Hey, as long as the numbers 33.3% don't add up, we're good. Up next, Solo Sikoa defeated Duke Hudson. Short match to have between these two heavyweights, but as always, make the Samoan look strong because he's part of the bloodline. I love whenever Samoan debuts in WWE, they always give him the generic top rope splash. From Superflash Jimmy Snuka to Rosie and Jamal to the Usos and Tamina. Once they have been in the company for a good while, they graduated to devastating move. Umaga. Grayson Waller defeated Josh Briggs, because that was a thing. And that was a thing I didn't really care about. Sorry. Ivy Nile defeated Kiana James. Shout out to that one guy yelling, Ivy's gonna kill you. What a mess of a match, actually. It was horrible. After the match, Pretty Deadly came out to mess with Ivy Nile's head. This got the Creed brothers out and took care of Pretty Deadly. And that was that. Cameron Grimes defeated Nathan Frazier. They added another person into this new era of NXT that you don't want to see go to the main roster. The other wrestlers aren't the North American Champion storyline or have been the North American Champion before. Nathan Frazier, same as I saw him do last week against Wes Lee and bring the action with Grimes, did the same thing here against Cameron Grimes. And if we see more of Nathan Frazier like this, and Wes Lee actually like we get to see more of Wesley, then I can say I can add them to, you know, Carmelo Hayes, Solo, Cameron Grimes, and Legado. But right now, it's just them. And that was NXT, short NXT. Over on SmackDown, the show opens up with the New Day doing a promo and bringing their interim member, Drew McIntyre. They give a shout out to Big E to remind him nobody has forgotten him. He calls a shot and challenges Roman Reigns at a UK event for the Undisputed Championship. He then says that the New Day can always count on your bullet, Big D. Laughter from the crowd, but goes a little much when he says Big D always goes in him. Both New Day members stop him before he goes too far with that. Family show! Coming from Xavier Woods. Alright, Mr. X-rated over here. He says New Day and Big D always go hard. Speaking of hard, they look at Drew's t-shirt and that says kneel to the steel. Drew says, you just get down on your knees and again gets interrupted. we can't say these things on. Okay. Kofi gives Drew a gift inside a unicorn color box. He takes out the box and it's a Big D onesie. Is it what is it? It's like a shorts? Okay. The Peaky Blinders interrupt. Shout out to Kushina for that one. Sheamus, Rich Holland, and the Rapid Bulldog Butch come out and they have a match. Obviously, this has been a thing since WrestleMania and it's getting tiresome. Looks like creative really has nothing and can't think of a better job to do with these two teams, so let's have them wrestle again. You know, I don't even care who won. We're just going to see them fight again next week anyway. So, there's that. Backstage segment with Max Dupree and Adam Pearce, who seems to be the annoyed that Max Dupree is a close talker. Yeah, one of those, close talkers that's like right there in your face and telling you what he wants planned and what he wants to do tonight and all that. Yeah, that much of a close talker. I've never seen this promo this close since The Rock and Triple H. And we all know who brought who dinner that night. Max says he found his first client for his Maximum Male Models agency, which could have been an email. Pierce asks him who that might be. Well, we get to find out next week, courtesy of Max Dupree. Okay. Hey, have nothing for the Indian wrestler to do? Give him the dance gimmick, right? The Great Khali used to do it. Jinder Mahal forbids Shanky to dance like this was the 80s, and Shanky was footloose. Let's try that again. Jinder from Mahal forbids Shanky to dance like this was some kind of 80s movie, and Shanky was footloose. Jinder is facing Humberto, is giving him some trouble. Humberto gets Jinder in the corner and blows a kiss at the ring announcer. Samantha Irving, of course. Shanky gets a bit jealous. Like, why is he throwing kisses at you? What's going on? Jinder's about to hit his finisher, but gets distracted by Shanky doing some dance moves. Humberto rolls up Jinder, but the referee gets distracted by Shanky. Humberto yells at Shanky to get down from the ring, and Jinder hits that devastating roll-up for the win. Shanky raises Jinder's hand and dances along, but Jinder wants none of it. Shanky turns to look at Samantha again and gives her that Shanky look and does the male mating dance ritual for her. Y'all know that one, right? Where you want to impress a girl and you start dancing all like Alex Wright. Oh, freaking old school with that. I brought up Alex Wright dancing. Yeah, that's how Shanky looked. With them hips and all that. Oh, that's a wonder kind. Pat McAfee hyped Shanky up, and Samantha finally gets up to vie with Shanky. It was really hilarious. It was a funny segment. Also funny that I brought up that's wonder kind. Alex Wright, you know the dance. I bet you're doing it right now, or if you're not, go look it up. YouTube that. Alex Wright dancing. There it goes. Six-pack challenge between the only 6 girls on the SmackDown roster. Because why not? Natalya, Shotzi, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, Xia Li, and Aaliyah. But Aaliyah gets locked in the locker room with a camera operator, the same way Shotzi got locked in the locker room last week with a camera operator as well. Shotzi argues with the ref, and Aaliyah finally shows up. Don't know how she got out. Maybe the camera operator had the keys to get out of the locker room. Maybe she asked him. Shotzi should have just asked last week. A lot of missed opportunities in this match, but I guess it's how they wanted to build up the Raw six-pack challenge. They could have done this if they didn't want to pin each other. Natalya and Shayna avoided each other until the very end. While Shayna was mounting Raquel with a submission, Natalya covered Aaliyah for the win. That really, they could have done that with Naomi and Sasha, but yeah, it happens. Madcap Moss comes out with new music and new gear. A rebrand for him. I'm so glad the yellow suspenders are gone. Madcap tells the crowd he is no longer the same Madcap Moss that everyone knew or that Corbin knew, because that guy is dead. This is the new Madcap. It gets interrupted by Corbin, who goes back to being the antagonizer and tells him there will be no match. Adam Pearce interrupts, and there's a match which turns into a DQ finish because ruthless aggression, Madcap Moss decided to use weapons on Corbin. Yeah, there was that. Riddle and Nakamura was the Usos. During the middle of the match, Nakamura got his knee injured, so they had to take him back. No, fuck that. The Usos swept the knee. The Usos swept the knee. Yeah, this is turning into a Karate Kid reference, but whatever. This turns into a handicap match that Riddle takes it alone and is able to face both Jimmy and Jay by himself. And just when you think Riddle was going to pull off this by himself, Sami Zayn the production truck and plays Roman Reigns' Bloodline theme music, which distracts Riddle enough for Jey Uso to hit the splash for the pin and the win. After the match, Sami comes out because he's an honorary Uso. Yeah, and I'm an honorary Uso also. The honorary Uso and the Usos celebrate with the step cousins and tell him it was him who did that. They celebrate with him, but Riddle comes charging at all three, ending the show. And that is all for SmackDown. It's not bad for both Raw and SmackDown go-home shows. Even NXT is in there. Well, not Raw and go-home show. It was more of a SmackDown go-home episode. And NXT was just like there. But it was fun. I'm gonna watch both shows. NXT in Your House and WWE Hell in a Cell. Wait, no, it was a Raw go home show and not a SmackDown one. Yeah, there it goes. Alright, why was I thinking that? Okay, so yeah, it was there. SmackDown was okay. Raw was go home. It was fine with it, except for the whole Liv Morgan thing. And NXT was pretty good, not bad. Reason I skipped Dynamite and Rampage this week was because, well, you all heard what happened with CM Punk and MJF, and that was the only exciting thing that happened on those episodes. What's it called? The tournament is done with, so the tournament is gone, no more. We're probably gonna get another tournament to crown the number one contender to face Jon Moxley at Forbidden Door. A lot of missed opportunities, man, with that one. Tanahashi came in on Wednesday to challenge CM Punk, but the whole CM Punk thing happened, so we don't get to see that anymore. Something about Hangman Page versus Okada might be a thing. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I can't wait. I'm gonna start doing that again. Watch Dynamite and see if whoever shows up. So yeah, that was it, guys. Thank you for listening to the show and supporting us. You can find us on all other sort of social platforms. First, with the Nirvana Network, or TNN for short, which is a conglomerate of podcasts that promote each other's common interests, so give them a follow as well. Check out the Linktree at linktree.com/the Nirvana Network for more information on that. Follow us on Twitter at apron_stories. Follow me on Twitter at $1 Million Geek. We live tweet the pay-per-view shows on there. We have fun with others as well. I will be retweeting and listing those funny retweets there as well. Listen to us on Spotify, or follow us there. Or Anchor.fm, totally free, from Under the Apron. Thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring the show. Download the app or go to Anchor.fm and start your podcast today, totally free. Check us out on YouTube and smash that subscribe button. It is $1 Million Geek. Hit that subscribe button. We got 19 subscribers on that channel. And follow us on Instagram, from _the apron, for more wrestling content. Send us a message or your favorite wrestling stories, either by email. It is FromUnderTheApron@gmail.com, or click the link if you want to leave us a voice message. Doesn't matter if you're trolling and want to promote your business. We will still air it. We will have a link to all the stuff we talked about on this show. After that, scroll down some more, and it's the Q&A. This week's question: who is your favorite wrestler that defined the 90s? We are definitely going to be making a list of all the wrestlers that was brought to us in the 90s. And we're going to list them every week on our Wednesday show, including a few possible guest spots from the Nirvana Network family. So keep an eye out for that. And that'll probably start in the next 2 weeks. Next Wednesday, we're doing In Your House and Hell in a Cell results. And then after that, we'll see how that goes. On behalf of myself and Michael, tune in next week and find out what kind of stories are hiding and swept as we broadcast from Under the Apron. That's a wrap.